Hello everyone and welcome. Today I will be walking you through a C++ project I have developed for a teacher portal. This application reads student data from a CVS files, calculate averages and percentage for different assessments, assign grades and allow us to either view the results on screen or export them to a file. So, the objectives of this task is complex engineering activity is to carry out research, analysis, design, investigations and implementations of a real-world complex programming project that has been following attributes. The activity requires abstract thinking and that's also you are seeing are the objectives of the project. Now, let's move towards the task instructions. The teacher portal using C++. You have been given a simple file named nca.csv which contains the marks of a student in the electrical engineering department electronics A. At Era University in NCA, write a C++ program that reads the data from the nca.csv and prompts the user on the console to enter the weightage for quizzes, assignments, the midterm exam, the final exam and the project. Ensure that the sum of the overall weightage is 100%. Then calculate the total marks obtained by each student. For demonstration purposes, a snapshot from the file nca.csv is provided below. This is the required output form they require from us so that we can build a C++ code, and the output should be in this form as here you can see. So we will try our best to give an output of C++ code that will look like this. The weightage we have to calculate is of 100%, and the parts which is split into parts of quizzes, assignments, midterms, final exams and projects. Each these types have different weightages, like I think 15% of quizzes, 10% of assignments, 45% finals, 20% mids, 10% projects, and all these data should be collectively of equals to 100%. So then if these data is not equals to will not be equal to 100%, the code will not run definitely, as the requirement is 100%. If we have written the code of 100%, we will require the output, and you are given the code like almost the sum up of if is equals to 95, the code will definitely not run. The code prosecution will be failed. So let's move towards the more instructions. The queue in the first row stands for quizzes, and these are the explanation of the above given code screenshot. There are the columns of queue indicated that the instructor conducted 6 quizzes, and this is the formulas you have used. Quizzes, total quizzes is q1, q2, q3, q4, q5 plus q6 divided by 60 plus 80 plus 10 means this is the formula for the total weightage of the console quiz. 10% assignment, 5% midterm, 30 finals, 45 project, 10%. The total marks of any student in the file nca.csv can be calculated. So this is in a similar way you will need to calculate the total marks of all the students. However, remember that your code should be generic. For instance, if you are provided with a new file cp.csv in which instead of 6 quizzes and 3 assignments, the instructor took 4 quizzes and 2 assignments. So you should take a sharp look on the percentages of each and everything, that it should make the total weightage of 100% as required in the output. Okay, next is your code should be able to calculate the results of any provided file having any number of students or any number of quizzes and assignments taken by the instructor. You should be able to achieve this without making any changes to the code except for replacing the name of the file nca.csv with the name of the file you are writing. After calculating total marks of the student, find the grades based on the following grading policy. This is also a most pointed point of view of this code. Suppose the class average is 61, then the following grading scheme should be applied, noting that 61 is a central point of the B neg grade. Range: the other grades have a range of 5 marks above and 5 marks below the B neg grade except for the grade A and grade F. Like 0 to 38 will range F grade, fail. 39 to 43 will range D grade. 45 to 48 will be awarded C neg. 49 to 53 will be awarded C grade. 54 to 58 will be C plus, and 64 to 68 B grade. 69 to 73 B positive. 74 to 78 A neg, and from 79 to up to so 100 you will be awarded A grade. This is just an example. The grading scheme should be changed according to the class average. And now, after calculating the grade points, three options on the console: display class result on the console, generate class result in a new CVS file, search result of an individual student by the roll number on console, and exit. These are the most nominating objectives of the function we are going to display after the code has been generated or run. Now the additional bonus points are here. In the CP file you have created as subject underscore results.cpp. Run it 6 times and each time providing a different subject file as input. For example, run it with calculate.csv, eca.csv, nca.csv, islamian.csv, cp.csv and fluids.csv respectively. These are the given data. We have to fulfill these requirements. If I already have calculated provided cp.csv and nca.csv, you will be needed, and these are the above. According to these requirements you have to fulfill the code, so that the code is fulfilling all these conditions and all these objectives, all these bonus points. So the code will be generic and the code will be awarded the grading marks as required. So the basically actually the task used here is file handling, and we have to execute all these required outputs using file handling. So let's move towards the code. Let's begin at the top. The code includes standard headers, #iostream for input and output. The f stream used here is for file operations declared, and the s stream to help trace lines from CSV, and the IO main IP for formatting the output. We use this using namespace std directive to simplify the syntax throughout the code. So next, we then declare arrays for storing data for up to 42 students. Each array corresponds to student names, roll numbers, marks for quizzes, assignments and midterms, final terms and project. We also declare arrays for calculated total percentages and final grades. So next, we open a CSV file named nca.csv using fstream in read mode. The file is expected to contain student records. We skip the first 2 lines, probably the headings, and then loops throughout the rest using getLine, fin line, and iString to praise individual entries. For that, we read name and roll numbers, 6 quiz scores, 3 assignment scores, midterm, finals, and project marks. After reading the data, we ask the teacher to enter the weightage in percentage for quizzes, assignments, midterms, final terms, and project. This input is validated with the loop. The program keeps asking until the loop weightage adds up to 100%. As you know, we are taking input from nc.csv file given to us already. So the highlighted portion, this is the file from where we are taking our inputs. You can see the quizzes: quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, quiz 4, assignment marks and the total marks, and then all these. We are taking the input from this NCA file, and the data using in this code is the data we have took from this NCA file I have shown you. So now next move towards the next point. So now let's move. We provide the teacher with the 4 options: display class results on console, generate our results in a CVS file, search result by a roll number, and then exit. These presentation will be occur in the C++ program. We will be given the C out as the output shown on the screen. We then calculate the percentage weight of each component of every student's TQ average I is equals to quiz total divided by 60, which is the weightage multiplied by quiz weightages. Then the next I will be representing the assignment total divided by 30 multiplied by assignment weightages, and similar formulas for the mid, finals and the project. Finally, total P I stores the sum of all these weightages scores. You can also take a look on the screen as the code is shown for your own understanding purpose as well. So You can see here all the calculations are mentioned, and these are the same calculations we have shown you before in the project file. That was the given required outputs we have to give the execution program after the C++ code has been executed successfully. The if else statement are also used here, as they are the beginners basic level of C++ code programming, so they make the code easier, more easier. Explanation is also given below the code. You can see for these all are for understanding purposes, so you can understand the code well, more thoroughly and more deeply, which is basically also one of the requirement for this project. This is also to determine the performance band. We calculate the class average by summing all the total percentages and dividing by 2. The other codes explained already. You can also remind and you can take a note for these codes, these grades they use in this process, and these all are generic, like all only for the understanding purpose and only for the code making. These are not like something you can use in your code. You can take simply an idea from here and implement your own code using your own requirements and giving the objectives you are given to display a code that is required from the class average. For instance, 20% above gets an A and 15% gives a neg, and so on. Anything significantly below the average results on F. The grades are already shown you, so according to these grades the grading is assigned. To determine the performance band, we calculate the class average by summing all the total percentages and dividing them by 42 as it's of the total class strength. The displaying results on the console is also a cout that is going to use. If the user selects options 1, we display each student's name, roll number, weighted scores, total percentage, and final grade. We use set W from IO main IP for align the formatting that was declared already in the starting. So the next here also you can use we are using for loop, and this is also an easier portion to use in this, as it is for beginners and the starting level, so you can use for loop here. And we have also used a float here. Float is used for like displaying the variable integers in points, and like these the which are not shown in the pet exact number that require, that includes decimal points, and these up to so on and etc they are used already in the functions code below. All the code assigned here are according to the criteria given in the required lab report, and the percentage calculated is calculated through the formulas also already given to us in the report I have already shown you. So anything significantly below the average results is in F. So using the F statement and else statement, there are else statement used here, and above the loop statement was used, and for, if, else, all these syntax are used in this code to make it easier and to run it smoothly. As you can see the output, if the user select option 1, we will display each student's name, display results in the console, the roll number will be displayed, the weighted scores will also be displayed of the given required number and student, and the total percentage will also be displayed on the screen, the final grades. We have used, you can see we have used set W from IO main IP, through which set W we have used as they are declared from using the IO main IP already on the starting for aligned formatting, so that no one line is ending here and the other line is ending in the middle of the line and other line is ending the next line. That will look like that will give an ugly output, not in aligned form. We require an output in aligned form. As you have already seen, the teacher portal is already like very aligned, it is an aligned form and it is required in set it forms. In option 2, we open a new file, new.csv, and write the student name, roll number, weightage scores, total percentage, and grades. This allows the teacher to have an offline record too. There, for this purpose, a new CSV file will be generated as a result for all this input given to this. So we in this objective it was given you have to create 6 new files, making the and already the name was also given to us, assigned to us, that we have to make 6 new files using that names. Now you can see the output is shown. Enter the weightage of the quizzes. You have to enter the weightage of the quizzes here. It's likewise if option 3 is chosen, the program asks for a roll number and searches it in the array. If found, it displays all the calculated data for the students including their grades. Now as for the output, the teacher portal is being opened. Now you have to enter the weightages of the quizzes. Now enter the weightage of assignments. Now enter the weightage of the midterms. Remember one thing, each the input you are given to this, the weightages should, the sum of all this should be equals to 100%. If it is not equal to 100%, your code will not proceed. So look, the 100% code is already criteria filled. Okay, your 100% weightage is done. The function till here is working, as we have checked that our function is working or not, so the execution is successful. Now let's take a look on the further quiz code. You can see here the out statements used here is all that it is shown on the student portal when you open it. So the required, these all are the input we have given to it. If you change a single word, the code all in the code's output, the single word will be also shown here that this change was happened, like as you can see in the code's output run prosecution program. If option 3 is chosen, the program asks for a roll number and searches it in the array. If found, it displays all calculated data for the student including their grades. This allows the teacher to have an offline record too. So enter the weightage of the final. See, the 100% criteria is filled now. Next, move to a display class results on the console. These are all the points objective given to us that should be fulfilled. And see, this is the output, this is the data the code has taken from the NCA file already attached to it, and this is how the output looks like of this code. You can see it is aligned, and this is the file nca.csv file we have using in this code. C++ to took from where the output is being shown in this code, and see, take a look, this is how beautifully the code is working in the prosecution, and that's how you are going to take the required output from your code CSV file, and this is how it looks like. If the teacher chooses option 4, the program prints a goodbye messages and exits. In summary, this teacher portal simplifies managing student data, from reading a CSV file, calculating weightages and results, generating grades based on class performances, and supporting export and individual queries. This is useful tool for educators handling many students at once. Thank you. So the prosecution process exactly this is the ending processing of the code C++, as the code has been ended here after taking the data from the CSV file, and all the objectives have been fulfilled till now. That were mentioned in the report that you have to fulfill, or this criteria is being filled. You can see in the screen the code prosecution is successfully run. All the data is taken from the nca.csv file already shown you. You can take actually in this code you can take data from any CSV file, not just the CSV file that is given to you. or that is provided you can use any of the CSV file to took from where you want, from where you want to take data. You can take any CSV file, not just the provided one. You can take any of the CSV file, any of the CSV file from where, any corner of the world you can take a CSV file. You can extract the required data from the CSV file and you can run your code. That's simply how beautiful it is running in this video. You can see and take a look. Now save the file. And one more thing, that all the code programs and code programming files in the NCA file should be saved at one location, in one folder. Make a folder on the desktop and keep all the files of this code in the same desktop file new folder, so that it would be easy for the code prosecution to take the data from only one place. If the NCA file is in another folder, in C type folder, and the prosecution file is on the desktop, there will be error regarding this. File handling is the most major complement used in this code, as the code prosecution is successfully run. And so that was what I wanted to share with you in this video. Thank you.